Good afternoon, Bay Nation. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bay. I'm your host, Mike Williams, and here's my co-host, Jeffrey.
Good afternoon, Bay Nation.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Christmas Day! Oh, everybody looks forward to this all year. It's gonna be absolutely wonderful celebrating with your families. Happy holidays to everyone who doesn't celebrate Christmas. Happy Wholidays to everybody in Whoville. Yes, I am wearing a Grinch tie. Happy Wholidays. It even lights up. And music. Happy Wholidays, everybody. Oh, but I know you're not here to celebrate the holidays. You are here to talk about Week 16, game previews, championship week, all the marbles on the table. This is what you've been working so hard for. I'm going to bring you to fantasy glory. So, here we go. Jeffrey, let's get it started.
I'm on it, sir. Here we go.
In this matchup, we're going over the Vikings versus Saints. Jeffrey, give me the rundown.
The Minnesota Vikings are traveling to New Orleans to face the Saints. The spread is -6.5 Saints. Weather does not factor into this game because the Saints play in a dome. There is one major injury to discuss. For the Saints, wide receiver, Michael Thomas, is on injured reserve and will be out for the rest of the regular season.
Oh, that Michael Thomas news really hurts. He's been in and out of lineups, and he hasn't been his normal amazing self, but it still would have been nice to be able to play him. All right, so let's start with the home team, Saints. Drew Brees started the game off last week a little rusty, but he did manage to have a solid game towards the end. I think that you can start Drew Brees, but he's not in my top 12. There are some better options out there that are most likely not rostered. Next, we have the wide receiver position. The only one I'm even thinking about starting is Emmanuel Sanders. Without Michael Thomas there, I do think Emmanuel Sanders should get some work. I have him as a high-end flex play. Next, we have the running back position. Obviously, you're starting Alvin Kamara. He's an absolute beast. And with Drew Brees back, I do believe that he gets some more receptions. I think Latavius Murray is flex worthy if you need a flex play, because with Michael Thomas out, they're going to have to run the ball a little bit more, and I think that Latavius Murray should get some work. Next, the tight end, Jared Cook. I think that you can fire him up this week if you need a tight end. Next, the defense. I think that you can play the defense in this matchup. The Vikings have not been firing on all cylinders. They've had a couple rough games. I think that you can play the Saints defense. The Saints have been absolutely fantastic defensively. And of course you're starting the kicker, because every week you start Will Lutz because he's an absolute beast. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings. Starting at the top, I'm not starting Kirk Cousins in this matchup. The Saints defense is very good. Next, the wide receivers. I'm starting both Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson in this matchup. They're both wide receiver twos. Next is the running back position, Dalvin Cook. Of course you're playing Dalvin Cook. He's an absolute beast. You play him every week. Next, we have the tight end position, Irv Smith Jr. if you're desperate because Kyle Rudolph's out. Next, we have the defense, no thank you. Kicker, no. All right, time to pick this game. We have a 6.5 point spread for the Saints. I'm going to take the Vikings in this one. I do think that the Saints win this game, but I think that the Vikings can keep it kind of close. Alright, that's going to do it for this one. On to the next one. In this matchup, we have the Lions versus the Bucs. Jeffrey, give me the rundown.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are traveling to Detroit to face the Lions. The spread is -8.5 Buccaneers. Weather does not factor into this game because the Lions play in a dome. There are a few major injuries to discuss. For the Buccaneers, running back Ronald Jones is out for this matchup. For the Lions, quarterback Matthew Stafford and DeAndre Swift are both questionable but expected to play. Wide receiver Kenny Golladay is out for this game.
Kenny Golladay, man. Injuries have really destroyed his season. It's very unfortunate. All right, let's get started with the Lions. And one thing that Jeffrey didn't bring up, the Detroit Lions are really dealing with a coaching issue. Due to COVID, they have a lot of people that aren't going to be able to be there, so they're not quite sure who's going to even be coaching this week. And believe it or not, guys, coaching does matter. So I think that the Lions are a little in disarray. So we're going to start at the top. Quarterback, Matthew Stafford. I'm not playing him. Bucs are tough defense. He's barely playing, and he's playing with a B squad. A lot of his great players aren't going to be 100% or there, so I'm not playing Matthew Stafford. Next, we have the wide receiver position with Kenny Golladay out. I think you fire up Marvin Jones as long as Matthew Stafford's there. Up next, we have running back position, DeAndre Swift. I think that he's going to be a great play this week. Even though the Bucs defense is really, really tough, I do think that he should have a fine game. Up next, we have TJ Hawkinson. I think you fire up TJ Hawkinson as well as one of the best tight ends in the league. Next, we're going to the defense. No. Kicker, no. Up next, we have the Bucs. Fire up your Tom Brady. I definitely think he should have a very good outing this week. Lions are terrible at the moment. Next, we have the wide receivers, and I think that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are both wide receiver 2s, with Antonio Brown being a flex play. Very solid. Next, we have the running back position, and as Jeffrey noted, Ronald Jones is going to be out in this matchup, so fire up your Leonard Fournette. I think he's going to fall into the end zone, and he's going to get a majority of the work, so I think he's a good play. Next, we have the tight end position. Fire up your Gronk. Gronk is one of the few tight ends that are actually quasi-reliable. Next, we have the defense. Fire him up. Kicker, fire him up too. All right, time to pick this game. It's an 8.5 point spread for the Bucs, and I want to take the Lions, but with their coaching situation being in disarray, I have a feeling they're going to have a hard time scheming against the Bucs, so I'm going to have to go the Bucs on this one. All right, I think that's going to do it for this one. On to the next one. In this matchup, we have the Cardinals versus 49ers. Jeffrey, give me the rundown.
The San Francisco 49ers are traveling to Arizona to face the Cardinals. The spread is -4.5 Cardinals. Weather should not be an issue in this game. There are an abundance of major injuries to discuss. For the Cardinals, running back Chase Edmonds is questionable in this matchup. For the 49ers, quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo is off of injured reserve but not expected to play. Current 49ers quarterback Nick Mullins is out with an elbow injury. C.J. Beathard is expected to start at quarterback. Running back Raheem Mostert is on injured reserve, ending his season. Wide receiver Deebo Samuel is expected to be out in this game. Tight end George Kittle has returned from injured reserve. Head coach Kyle Shanahan believes Kittle has a, quote, chance to play.
Huh? He's got a chance to play. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that was a lot to go over. We're going to start with the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, you fire him up. He's a great quarterback. He's going to get it done on the ground and in the air. Next, we have the wide receiver position. The only one I'm starting is DeAndre Hopkins. He's an absolute beast. Next, we have the running back position. I think that Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds are both playable, assuming that they're both available. I still have Kenyon Drake leading the pack, but I have him as a running back too, and Chase Edmonds as a high-end flex play. Next, we have the tight end position. No. Defense, yes. 49ers are playing a bunch of backups. And kicker, no, I'm good on that. All right, next, we have 49ers. Oh, my goodness, this is a massacre. They have been devastated by injuries, but we'll get through this. No quarterback. Wide receivers, Brandon Ayuk is an absolute beast. Fire him up anywhere. Next, we have the running back position. Jeff Wilson Jr., I think, is a solid play with Mostert out. Next, we have the tight end position. George Kittle, fire him up if he plays. I have him over most tight ends. There's only really 3 tight ends you play over George Kittle. You got Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, and Mark Andrews. Other than that, you fire up George Kittle. If he's check to see if somebody dropped him on your waiver wire, because there's a chance he plays, and that would be a big deal. That could win you a championship. Next, we have the defense. No, thank you. Kicker, no. All right, time to pick this game. 4.5 point spread. The 49ers are too injured. I'm going with the Cardinals. I think that they can take this game against the injured 49ers, but I do think it could be close. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for this one. On to the next one. In this matchup, we have the Dolphins versus the Raiders. Jeffrey, give me the rundown.
The Miami Dolphins are traveling to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. The spread is -2.5 Dolphins. Weather does not factor into this game because the Raiders play in a dome. There are a few major injuries to discuss. For the Raiders, quarterback Derek Carr is practicing in full and expecting to play. Running back Josh Jacobs and wide receiver Nelson Agholor are both questionable for this matchup. Wide receiver Henry Ruggs is back from the COVID-19 list. For the Dolphins, running back Myles Gaskin has been activated off of the COVID-19 list and expected to play. Wide receiver Devontae Parker is questionable in this matchup.
Okay. All right. Let's start off with the home team. Las Vegas Raiders. All right. Starting at the top, you're not starting the quarterback for sure. Moving on to the wide receivers, I'm honestly not really trying to start any of them either. Running backs, you start Josh Jacobs, even though he's a little dinged up. It's not a great matchup against the Dolphins, but I do think that he is playable. I think that his upside is capped, though. So keep that in mind when you're playing with your lineups. I don't think that he's going to have one of his upside games, so you may need to put other people on your roster that could hit that ceiling. Next, we have the tight end position. Darren Waller is an absolutely fantastic tight end, one of the best in the league. Fire him up. No to the defense, yes to the kicker. All right, moving on to the Dolphins. I'm not playing Tua. He hasn't gotten valuable in fantasy yet. Next, we have the wide receiver position. No thank you. Devontae Parker, for whatever reason, is not getting the ball from Tua, and he's dinged up. Next, we have the running back position. This one gets a little interesting. If Myles Gaskin plays, I think you fire up Gaskin. If Gaskin and Salvin Ahmed play, I think they're going to eat into each other's workload. So I think it brings both of them down to like a flex play type situation. But if one of them sits, play the other one. They'll be a great play. Next, we have the tight end position, and I think that Mike Gesicki should be out in this game. And if he is out, don't play him, obviously. If he is in, he's a beast. Still play him. Next, we have the defense. Yes, you can absolutely play Miami's defense in this matchup against Las Vegas. Next, we have the kicker, and I think you fire up the kicker as well. Time to pick this game. 2.5 point favorites to Miami. Give me Miami. Miami. I think that they're going to win this game, and I think that there's a chance that it's close, but I think the defense definitely helps them win it at the end. All right, I think that's going to do it, Jeffrey. On to the next one. All right, I think that's going to do it for today's game previews. I went over the Friday and Saturday games, and the next game preview will be going over all the games on Sunday. I hope that this helped. Good luck in your matchup. You got this. Championship week coming in clutch. All right, I think that's going to do it for this one. Good luck in your matchups. Peace.